Okay, so these are my final thoughts on the Ydin Holder demo. As a demo, it does its job. It definitely makes me interested in the game and makes me want to check out the full version of it. As a story, or well, rather, parts of a story, it has some problems in that it's frustrating. My initial complaint after part 1 was I feel like there's a lot of pieces of data thrown at me, and I'm not given a lot of context to fit those pieces of data to get together. What is the Ydin? Like, what is it manifesting as? Is it, something physical? Is it something spiritual? Is it emotional? Is it an artifact? Like, what are we looking at? Like, is it something that chose Suvi? Is it something that is born into his bloodline? Is it something that infused his body? That's not necessarily critical for a demo, but it's a question that I'm like, okay, what is this? What is this character going to be dealing with? What is the it that is threatening it? Is it the Ydin awakening? Is it something because of the Ydin? Is it like a yin-yang thing, like this other thing is happening and the Ydin is the counter to it? Is it a tournament? Is it a natural entity? Is Galactus showing up? What is it? Beyond that, I can't say a lot negative or positive about the demo, simply because it's a demo. I will say, Petula, the Petula that I saw 3 months later seems like a different character from the Petula that I see earlier on the demo. I don't know if that's indicative of a major character shift, a major plot element, story progression, something about her specifically. I don't know, but it was like the Petula that I saw 3 months later didn't feel like the Petula I saw early on. As I said, you touch on some interesting ideas with Sable. I'm hoping those get explored in the full game. Yeah. I'm not really sure what else to say about it. If this were a full game, I'd be a lot harsher because I do feel somewhat frustrated. But at the same time, it's not a full game. It's a demo. It's meant to leave me asking questions and looking to the full game to get that. So in that regard, it does its job very, very well. I'm just not entirely convinced that frustrating the player by throwing all this information at them and only providing a third of the answers is the right way to get people interested in the full game. By that I mean, let's say the full game is $20. Based on what I've played here, I would not pay $20 for it. If the full game is $5, okay, I could do that. But as it is right now, I'm not seeing anything in here to justify getting the game for more than $5. Some of the things that, it seems like it's a very straightforward story initially, with a lot of things that branch out later, and I'm only given enough data to kind of extrapolate a couple of those branch points. And then, the 3-month shift, and I'm kind of left looking back. The other 8 or other 5 characters that I hadn't met prior to the time jump. I can assume that there is some amount of change between what I see then and what they would be when they're introduced, but having only seen 3 months later, I don't know what that change is. I will say, I think it's a bit dubious to show me the characters 3 months later without showing me who they were when they're introduced. For instance, the cat girl. Like, let's say she showed up initially and she acted like a feral beast. Okay, that presentation is completely different, but not entirely removed from what I saw 3 months later. It is possible that, her people are more feral than humans typically are. So in a moment of panic, shock, surprise, threat, fight or flight response, whatever the exact circumstances is, she would appear very feral and beast-like. So that could be something that is explained and extrapolated out. Oh, she talked? Wait, that means she's capable of communication. Okay, hang on, back up. She's not a beast. We can work this through. Something like that. But the android, the robot, human, synthetic, whatever you're calling her, there's a lot of why attached to that. Well, why and what? Like, what does she represent as far as her planet goes? Having not seen her introduction, I don't have anything to fill in. They said she was built by her people. Okay. Who are her people? What are their mindset? They said they built her to protect the holder of the Ydin. I have no idea what kind of character it is. So, yeah. Personally, what I would do as a demo to get people more invested is you had a good core of a start. You set up an interesting premise. People from different worlds, dimensions, universes, whatever phrase you want to use here, coming to this one in an effort to get the Ydin holder to select their planet to be saved. Okay, that's an interesting setup. Give us a hint of what exactly that's going to work out to be, but don't give us the full phone book listing. Limit it to, say, 3 of the characters with mentions of the other 5. I think giving us all 8 of the characters after the 3-month jump is it's overwhelming again. Like, there's still a lot of questions that haven't been answered from the beginning, which I mentioned. And then giving us 5 more characters and basically giving us a hint as to choosing those, it's like, okay. Like, what's the standing here? Why would I be interested in this one over this one? Is there something more than just selecting one? Like, if I spend all my time with Sable, is that going to piss off Nickel? If I anger Estella, is Rolo going to be jealous? Is EC actually what she appears to be? Could she be a spy? Just all these extra questions get introduced in the last, 5 minutes of the game, or the demo, and I'm left going, I'm not sure what kind of game I'm playing anymore. So, yeah, those are my thoughts on the demo. Hope you found this information useful, and let me know when you get the full game release, because like I said, I am interested in checking that out.